Hello, my name is Waverly Schaffner, and this is my video for my application into the Faye W. Whitney School of Nursing. I am so grateful and excited to have this opportunity. A difficult experience in my life that exemplifies my ambition and enthusiasm for learning is not necessarily one specific situation, but a whole life of them. My father's in the Navy, so we have moved many times. Most of the places that we lived in were only for a year to a year and a half. As I grew older, this became more difficult for me because I was constantly having to meet new people, make new friends, and adapt to a different curriculum in school. Oftentimes, when we moved, it was in the middle of a school year. It was particularly strenuous because every school is different when it comes to what they're teaching their students. I would have to work twice as hard as some of the other students in order to catch up on the lost material from the first semester. It would have been very easy for me to let myself fall behind and give up on playing catch up every year, but instead I met with my teachers, I stayed after school for further instruction, and I spent time at home learning how to do what I missed out on. One time that was especially hard for me was when we moved from Connecticut to Georgia. At my school in Connecticut, we never used computers or any other sort of technology in our school. When we moved to Georgia, most of our schoolwork was on personal Chromebooks. It was a major learning curve for me because it was an entirely new type of learning that I was experiencing. Along with that, the material that was being taught was ahead of what I had learned at my last school. But I kept working at it by studying during breaks and getting extra help from my family and peers, and I caught up. This shows my ambition and enthusiasm for learning because even when I was having constant step backs to stay caught up in my instruction, I pushed myself. I was always able to catch up through hard work. I love a challenge, and I'm always excited to learn more and push myself further. Nursing is the profession for me because I strive to make an impact on people's lives. I love to learn and to interact with people. Nursing is a profession where I will always have new experiences, be able to connect with people, learn more, and most importantly, provide people care and comfort. My personal values include be kind, be ethical, and strive to be the absolute best version of myself that I can be. My personal values align with professional nursing values because they both strive to help people. Nurses are the most compassionate people that I have ever met, and there was one particular nurse who made the world of a difference for me. I was scared and very sick, and she gave me hope and strength to keep on fighting. Once her shift was up, she stayed with me until I was ready to be transported to a different hospital. The impact that she made on me will stay with me for the rest of my life, and I want to be able to help people the way she did me. A time that I have worked with an intricate team was when there was a fire that broke out less than a mile from the stables that I keep my horse at. I went to the stables, and other boarders and I got ready for an evacuation. Many of us didn't know each other, but we put our heads together and made sure that everyone had a list of tasks so that we didn't have too many people doing one task and not enough doing another. We worked together to make sure that all the horses were rounded up and ready to be transported, and then we had a place for our horses to go and stay until the fire was put out. Because the fire started so close to the stables, there wasn't much time for any commercial horse transports to come and get the horses, so we were all on our own. Everyone took as many horses as they could out of the stables, and some people didn't even board at our stables. They just heard about the fire and showed up to help. We got all the horses out in time without anyone getting hurt. This team of people with many different backgrounds helped us be more efficient because while some of us were better at working with the horses, while others were better at making sure the trailers were hooked up correctly, for example, we all made sure that we had tasks that we could get done effectively and efficiently, and that is what kept us all safe. A time that I did not agree with someone of higher authority than me was when I was organizing stall arrangements for a 3-day rodeo with over 400 horses for my high school rodeo team. We knew that the facility that we were using was going to be slightly short on stalls. We had some pins set up so that our overflow horses could stay in those pins. The adult president of our team did not want to advertise those pins because they were going to be sold at a cheaper rate than the stalls, so he wanted to sell out the stalls first in order to increase our profits. I acknowledged his concerns, and then I explained mine. I recommended that we advertise the stalls and pins for people to choose from in order to prevent panic and confusion in our contestants once the stalls ran out. The president and I discussed this, and he decided that he was not going to advertise the pins until we sold out the stalls. Once we finally sold out the stalls, I got many calls at all hours of the day of angry people not being able to rent the stall for the weekend. I asked the president to advertise the pins so that these people could rest assured and have a place for their horse, and he did. I was able to get these people to sign their pins, and after the rodeo, when we had our team meeting to reflect and improve, I discussed with the president that based on what we saw, that in my opinion, it would be better to advertise the pins and stalls simultaneously. We worked it out in a professional manner, and we were able to compromise and make adjustments to our plan for our future rodeos that accommodated both of our concerns. A time that made me question my abilities was when my family was stationed to Colorado and we took my horse with us. Before we moved, I had a mentor teaching me all the ins and outs of horse care as well as being able to recognize signs of illness. My biggest fear of moving to Colorado was that I was not knowledgeable enough to be able to know the warning signs of a serious medical condition with my horse. What I did to make sure that I would be able to be aware of any problems that arose was I talked to anybody that I could find that had extensive horse knowledge. I asked people to teach me what they knew and what preventative measures that they take for their horse was. I also read plenty of books and articles about horse care and different ways that I can keep my horse healthy and happy. Whenever any veterinarians, farriers, or equine chiropractors came to the barn, I would ask to follow them around and learn more about horses from them. I also attended a couple of clinics where I learned from knowledgeable people how to do certain things for horses, whether that be how to measure a horse's heart rate or how to properly wrap a horse's legs for protection and support when competing. I've realized that whenever I feel unsure of my abilities or my confidence is wavering, it is best to reach out to people who are more experienced and ask them for their expertise. Thank you so much for considering my application into the Faye W. Whitney School of Nursing. I hope to be able to attend there this fall.